Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Grant and I'm the host of Remington Graphics, and today I'm here with you guys to take a look at some of the basic features of Procedural 4, how to use it, all that fun stuff to get you started with Procedural 4. There'll be more advanced tutorials coming in the future, so be sure to stick around for that. If you haven't already, you can go ahead and download Procedural 4 off of my website. It is store.remingtongraphics.net. There will be a card in the upper right corner of the screen right now, as well as a link down in the description. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop straight into it. Alright, so when we go to the store page, add it to our cart, and then go ahead and check out really quick here. I'm gonna leave myself a little smiley face. But anyway, after you click place order, it should automatically start downloading down here, as you can see. If it doesn't start automatically downloading, you can just click this little link here. It says download Procedural 4, and then if you click this, it'll start downloading. So that's just a quick way to do that. Let me go ahead and move this onto my desktop. So there is our Procedural 4. It's in a zip file, but one thing you have to keep in mind, this isn't actually an add-on for Blender, it's simply a Blender resource. So if we open this up, you can see we have procedural4.blend in here, not a bunch of Python files. So we'll go ahead and extract that to our desktop. I'm gonna put it here, and we can just leave that there. You can put it somewhere else memorable. Just make sure you don't end up deleting it accidentally. I have a folder in my documents where I put all the stuff that I have like this, all my resources. So that's a good idea if you want to do that, or you can just leave it on your desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up really quick, and we can see upon opening it that we have this giant group of nodes and this little PBR shader and some wall of text over here, and then this little viewport over here. So basically how I structured this, there are three different categories of node groups. We have specialty nodes, which are sort of, I don't really know what to call them other than specialty nodes. They are great for bump maps. They have a lot of very specific uses, however they can be used in a lot of different things. For example, this Pro 4 warp thing over here, if I connect the color to the color, and the normal to, oops, not the factor, the normal to the normal, I switch into rendered mode in the 3D view, you can see that we get this really cool sort of mountain pattern and stuff on this, and it's entirely procedural. And if I go ahead and cut these off, you can see that it goes away. So they're all sort of special, I guess. They're not based off of actual procedural textures. Well, they are, but they're not specific procedural textures. They're simply weird edited versions. So if I open up Procedural 4 here, or Pro 4 Warp here, you can see it's a noise texture distorting a Veroni texture, getting multiplied with another noise texture, screwing up a Veroni texture, and it's all just a bunch of stuff mixed together to make other stuff. But there's a bunch of different things here. We have dots, which makes a kind of dot pattern, as you'd assume. As you can see, are like polka dots. We have puddles, which could be used for like puddles on asphalt. You can see we got the little texture on the side where the water would be seeping around. We have strips, which are these nice weird stripe things. We have Veroni orb, which is good for making little pebbles and stuff. If you boost up the scale to like 100, you can see it looks like a bunch of pebbles, and they actually do have a bump to them as well. If I were to connect the normal, you can see that they have a bump. That would be good for making something like pebbles. We have warp, which I showed you earlier. Worm trails, which I didn't really know what to call this, but you can kind of imagine, like you can see the little like creases in it as though like if you've ever seen a fallen down tree, they got the little worm trails that worms left in them after eating away the tree. We have planetary clouds, which are pretty neat in my opinion. They're part of the planet generation shader down here, or material, I guess. And then we also have volumetric clouds, which you just hook those up to a, let's see here, volume scatter node. We hook this up to volume, and it's gonna look really weird, but that's a volume node in case you're not familiar with it. But you can see we can connect different things, so that's a procedural cloud, sort of. It's a lot easier if you just use the Pro 4 Clouds material down here, but I thought I'd include that, or these two different nodes as well, just in case you wanted to use something other than the material. And then we have the base nodes over here, which these are all from Procedural 3. They've just been updated and changed slightly. Now the vector input actually works fully. Before it didn't, so now you don't have to worry about that. But basically they're the same thing as Procedural 3. You connect the color, and the color basically mixes, actually we have to connect the shader over here. The color basically mixes the base, secondary, and tertiary color together. You can also see we have an offset color, which is a cloud texture. We can change the texture scale up a bunch. We can change the detail of the texture. We can change the lacunarity of it. We can change the bump strength, which we don't have the bump hooked up. But you can do all sorts of stuff. We have Moosegrave, mix, noise, all the different procedural noise textures that are already built into Blender, just mixed up a little bit to make it even more procedural than it already was. Now this is my favorite part down here. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this, and we're going to go ahead and drag our output node down here. Now these are all shaders, materials by default, so you don't really have to hook them up to another shader. So we have Asphalt, which is a procedural asphalt texture, and you can see if we zoom in here, we can see the individual bumps on the asphalt. We can see the little speckles in it, and we can even see like those big chunks of like gum people dropped in it. They're kind of hard to see, but here is one right here. You can see that somebody likely like plopped a thing of gum on there and it's stuck to the road now. But it's really nice to use procedural textures for this kind of thing, because not only can you get really up close to it before it starts to lose, actually it's still not even losing detail, but it's completely random, so you never have to worry about repetition. Then we also have Plaster, which is, well, plaster, so you can see it's got that kind of plastery look to it. It looks like plaster, but you'll notice that we have a different color for the peak of each bump as well as the base color. So the base color would be like the paint, and the little bumps in the plaster would be some sort of like something getting rubbed off, I guess. So you can see if I change it to red, the peaks all change to this reddish color, which is a really neat feature. Now we have Pro for Clouds, which this is actually, I'm not going to show you that yet. We're going to go to that in a second. We're going to look at Checkered Plaster, which is, it's kind of I don't really know what to call it. It looks bad on a sphere because it's not supposed to be put on a sphere. It's supposed to be put on some sort of plane, but basically it's just these scratched up things, or these scratched up checkers with a little bump map to it, to really draw attention. It would be good to put on a wall or something. Then we have Marble, and Marble is my personal favorite. I spent forever making this. Marble is basically a fully procedural marble texture. Now each of these things will change depending on what we use here. So you can see if I change the scale up to 5, it'll get smaller. If I change it up to 100, which I would not advise, you can't even see it because it's so small, but like maybe 50, you can kind of see those little speckles, and we can zoom in and we can see each individual little speckle. We could change it all the way up to 1, and we get these nice big blobs everywhere. Actually, you can't even see the blobs. Maybe we'll leave the scale at something around 5 because I think 5 looks best. But this is one of my favorite things. You can change all the different colors as well. I kind of made this a dark, gritty granite, but you can look at all sorts of different other types of, I guess marble, sorry. You can make all sorts of other types of marble with this. And then we also have mud, and mud is also one of my favorites because I have never been able to make a procedural mud texture that looks this good. There's all sorts of things you can change with it as well. So if you want it to be more of a wet mud, you might want to consider increasing the saturation and then dropping the value more. Let's see here. There you go. So now it's starting to look more like a wet mud, like something that you'd see in a farm or something. So there's a lot of different things you can screw with it. And then we have the planet generator, which we're going to do a full tutorial on sometime soon, hopefully. But you can see if we connect it, we have these continents. Each continent has different little biomes. We have clouds. There's all sorts of awesome stuff you can do with this. It's really exciting. It's really just lots of stuff you can experiment with. So I definitely recommend checking this out, trying to make your own procedural planets. And yeah. Anyway, this is just a quick overview of all the different features of Procedural 4. There's a lot more videos to come in the future. I hope you guys find Procedural 4 useful, and if you did, be sure to drop a like down below and hit subscribe so you can be notified when I release updates for it. And if you made something really cool with Procedural 4, leave a comment down below. I'd love to see it. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios!